Hey guys, my name is Josh Smith. I'm the CEO of Montana Knife Company, and today we have an announcement of a brand new knife. It's new in a way, but it's actually a combination of a few knives that we've made in the past, and this is in a partnership with John Dudley. He has the brand Nock on, and he's one of the OG legends in the industry, and in fact, he's largely responsible for, I'd say, most of the education in the archery industry in the last 20 years. His Nock On website is the place to go when you want to learn anything archery, especially with setting up your bow, tying D-loops, knowing what arrows to use, understanding spine weights, broadheads, all that. Nock On and John's website is the spot. And so years ago, John was actually really the first big name in the industry that jumped on with us and decided to do a knife in collaboration with us. And with that, we came up with the Triumph knife. Now, with that, we had a few different models of that knife. We had a larger version, a small version. We also had a paracord version. But we heard from the customers that they kind of wanted that do-it-all knife instead of carrying all three or which one do I buy. And we kind of started working together and figuring out the perfect kind of middle ground for that knife. And that's why we call this the Triumph Pro. Now, this Pro knife is kind of that perfect middle ground. And to be honest, it's of now the 4 knives we've done with John, this one is by far my favorite. I think we absolutely nailed it. Our engineering team, our design team, with prototyping this thing, it is absolutely perfect. So I tend to be a guy that likes a blade that's not real big. If you look at the lineup of MKC knives, the Blackfoot, the Speed Goat, Mini Goat, all those knives have shorter blades. I don't really want a real big knife in the field. This knife is right up my alley with size. I think this is perfect, and it can do any big game animal in North America and frankly even over into Africa. So the blade on this is 3 3/4 inches long from the tip of the blade to the front of the handle, 8 1/4 inches overall length. The other thing that's unique here with just the Nock On version is this texturing that we did here that looks like the feather on an arrow. And we did that just on John's knife. So if you look at the more MKC versions of this with our 6 standard colors that we always do, you're not gonna find that texturing, but with that, it's still a very, very comfortable handle. But we wanted to do something that was kind of special for John. This is something that he always wanted, and it really actually looks like the feathers on an arrow. It provides some really good grip. It's actually really, really cool. So that's kind of the special version, and that version will also come with the Nock On logo on it as well. So this is the full-on John Dudley Nock On version of the Triumph Pro. Now with that Pro, there's a few things with this knife that I think are very important to put out, design features that are very intentional, and this really came from John from a napkin drawing that he did when we originally did the Triumph knives. He wanted to be able to hold this knife in 2 different ways. This way here, where you can index your thumb right in this ramp area to get good leverage on anything that you're cutting if you're trying to get a lot of force on that, or for some more detailed work to be able to change that grip and go like this and place your finger over the top of the spine of that knife, really choke up. We actually kind of ramp down the front of this handle just a little bit right here to be able to choke up and get some really good control for detail work, especially if you're turning out the face on an animal, if you're caping. We actually just did this in Alaska with my mountain goat, where we're turning out some of the detail work of that hide to get it ready for salting and for the taxidermy work. Like the rest of our knives, these come with G10. G10 is a fiberglass epoxy layered material. And these blades actually these knives have actually really cool kind of center line here that really indexes that knife in your hand. You don't get any twisting or turning. That G10, actually, we leave some of the milling marks on this material. If you polish this G10 out, it gets really slick. But with this, with the milling marks that we leave on here with all of our knives, it gives you some of that actual really positive grip, especially when this knife gets wet, bloody, anything like that. G10 is also going to be very impervious to any types of moistures, but also it puts up to any weather condition, whether it's hot, cold. It doesn't matter. If you leave this knife in your truck in the heat, it's not going to hurt this handle material. I love natural woods, but boy, if you leave that in your truck and it gets hot, that wood's going to split, crack, especially also going from hot to cold, which you guys do a lot of that in the hunting environment. Let's talk about the blade for a second. The blade is made out of Magna Cut stainless steel, We then PVD coated these knives. So that PVD coating is really just to take the glare off. It gives it kind of that cool MKC look, and the PVD coating is different from the Cerakote that we've done before. It's multiple times more durable. The PVD is much tougher. You're not gonna have the scratching and some of the wear that we've seen with some of the Cerakote. So I think you guys are really gonna like that PVD. It's an awesome coating. That being said, this MagnaCut steel is specifically engineered and made for the knife industry. It holds a really great edge. It's relatively easy to resharpen. It's just a great all-around steel. We actually have a lanyard hole on the back of this knife here, which is a cool addition. For those of you that like to have a lanyard on your knife, or even if you want to decorate it with some different beads or different stuff, you can accessorize it. You can also take that and tie that off if you're worried about losing that. You know, if that's on your pack strap and you want to have some paracord hanging off of that and tie it around your strap to even give you more assurance that you're not going to lose that knife, you do have that lanyard hole. So as far as weight goes on this knife, it's just under 4 ounces. I think it's 3.96 ounces. So it's relatively light for the size of the knife. We've got some skeletonizing inside this handle that also helps take some weight out. And like any of our MKC knives, they come with these custom MKC Kydex sheaths. You heard that snap, that click. That's that positive click that we want. That way you can carry this knife on your pack strap, on your belt. This clip can be turned 90. You can take this clip off if you want to really slim this thing down, tuck it in your bino harness or in a pocket. This clip gives you a lot of optionality with that. And again, we make these Kydex sheaths right here in Missoula in our shop. We mold every single one of these sheaths to the knife model. So they're just a badass sheath. And this is something that a lot of knife companies look past. When you buy a knife in a store and then you ask to see the sheath, you can tell that the sheath was an afterthought. This is part of the whole entire package. We're very proud of our sheaths and how they work. Again, that's the Triumph. This is the knock-on version. I really appreciate John Dudley sticking with us over the years, allowing us to grow with him. He's a legend in the industry. I think you guys are gonna love this knife. Thanks a lot.